Okay, so first we were gonna take our cardboard tube. We need to measure about 3 inches. And we're gonna cut that off. And then next we need to cut the mouth. So you can either draw it out or just do it if you'd like. Just freehand cut it. It's important that if you are going to paint, that you paint this first before moving on to the next step. I'm going to use some markers now, but you can use anything to color it, anything you want. So now we gotta make our strips, and they need to be 1 inch thick, the long ways of the paper. So there's 2 ways to do this. If you have a ruler that is about 1 inch thick, like this one, then you can just lay it on the sheet and make your line. And after this, I'll show you the other way that we can do this. If you don't have a ruler that is 1 inch thick. So the other way, so you have that one done, so we can do the next one. The other way is if you make your lines, just make a dot. And just make your make a mark at each inch. And you're going to do the same on the other side. And then you line up hash marks and make your line. So now after you've done the lines on your strips, if you have chose to paint, you would paint whatever the outside or the inside that you haven't painted yet. And then you set that aside so that would dry while you're cutting your strips. And I'll just cut the strips. Okay, so now this is where you start assembling the snake's body. Now, if if you really want to hide the marks, you can, if you leave, as you're doing this, if you have the pencil marks up, they'll actually be folded in. So now we're gonna take our glue, and with these at right angles like this, you will hit it with some glue. Just kind of line up, and then you press it and just make it kind of at a right angle here. And you're just gonna fold the bottom one over the top one. Make sure they stay at a right angle for the most part. Time to glue another one on. So I just kind of guess about an inch. You can, if you really want to, you can measure. That's just a tiny bit over, but you'll keep doing that until you have just 1 or 2 strips left. And you want to make sure you save those for the fangs and the tongue. So now we're going to attach our snake body to our snake head. So we are going to glue it first. So be generous with the glue. All right, and then with the snake, top of the snake's head facing you, you're going to just kind of get it in there. You can kind of just stuff it in there, and then you're going to just squeeze down nice and tight. And we're going to just snip the edges off to kind of line up with the body, so it kind of looks more like a snake head and body that were made together. And if you have a stapler, I suggest stapling it too. If not, just hold it firm and tight until you're confident that it's going to stay. Alright, so that's that part. So now, for the fangs and the tongue, you can freehand it if you want. You can make them look however you want. You can make them tall and skinny, or short and fat, however you want to make them. I'm gonna kind of make smaller ones. And just kind of make sure you give yourself enough to where you can actually have some paper to glue it on there. And then the tongue can be however long you want. Remember, snakes have forked tongues, so they come off into 2 sections. They're not one section like our tongue. At the end, they come off to 2. And you can make it as skinny or as long as you want. Just make sure that you have enough that it's not going to be too fragile. draw it or freehand it. I choose to draw just because I like that. So what I'm going to do with the fangs is just kind of bend them where I'm going to attach them to the top of the mouth. Just a little bend there. Just a little bend. A little fold. Just pick where you want to put it on. Some good pressure. For now. And I made his tongue really long this time. You can make it short if you want. Alright, and then the last thing, you should have some googly eyes. Kind of pick where you want to put those.